Alright guys, well we have Link for you today. So Link got a lot of changes in this game versus the other games. He no longer has a tether grab, and I think a lot of the stuff that was added in this game actually made him a bit better. Also his bombs are different. They're remote bombs, but we'll get to all the like moves that changed later just because I'll be going over all of them. But as far as like mobility, weight, his ground speed's not bad, but obviously you'd want it to be better. But as far as initial dash goes, it's pretty fast. And in the air, he's a little slow, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. It's manageable. I mean, it's not like some characters where you start moving through the air and you're like, I can't do this. Let me pick another character. It's okay. It's manageable, but obviously you'd want him a little faster and like ideally. As far as like different movement options, you can B reverse arrows. Unfortunately, I'm just kind of poor at it. There you go, right there. Or any of your other projectiles with your B moves, which is pretty nice. Could get Link out of a bad spot. And as far as his weight, Link is pretty heavy. He can live a long time. Just like standard killing moves will just take longer against him than most characters because he's heavy. Okay, on to Link's aerials. So I guess we'll start with his neutral air. His neutral air is an excellent move. It's probably one of the best moves in the game, to be honest with you. It's very quick, doesn't have much landing lag, and this is like ridiculously safe on shield. If you hit this on shield in a fast fall and spaced and just the proper way to hit it on someone's shield, they will have like no opportunity to punish. It's actually kind of insane how safe this move is. It's just like it puts your opponent in a really bad position if they try to block this move, just because there's so much like shield stun on it, and you get to react so fast. So this move is very good. Leads into combos at lower percents. You probably wouldn't want to be going for something like a up smash out of that position, but you get the point. That's going to be a kill confirm at higher percentages too. Nair into up smash, just kind of like Fox-esque, but like Nair into grab at lower percentages into some sort of combo. Nair into down throw, whatever. As you can see, there's a lot of ways that you can use this move after you get the hit. And even if they put a shield up, it's very safe on shield. So it's kind of a win-win for you either way. Either you get a combo out of it, if it's a lower percentage. You can get a sort of a kill confirm off of it if it's a higher percentage. And if it hits shield, you're still advantaged because that move is just very good on shield. So overall, his neutral air, an excellent move. Can be used for edge guarding as well against characters with poor recovery, like Ganondorf or something like that. Can also be used for combo breaking. If someone's juggling you in the air, if you throw this out, you might just be able to hit them and get out of that situation, which is pretty nice. So overall, his neutral air, amazing, and let's move on to his up air. So his up air is, it's okay, but it's really, it might be the weakest of his aerials overall, just because it really only hits in like one plane, like one dimension, and that's right above Link. It doesn't move in an arc to hit a lot of people. It's kind of slow. Overall, it's hard to hit. I mean, it's useful for juggling and sometimes for killing off the top, but it's just one of those moves that it's not really great at it just because it's slow, and it's hard to hit due to the fact that the way it moves. It's not like Crumb or something, whose up air is obviously amazing and will just keep sending them up, and it's super easy to hit. This is much harder to hit, and you have to really have a good read on what your opponent's doing because of how slow it is. It's less reaction based when you're in the air with that move. Okay, onto his forward air. So his forward air, I mean, out of a short hop, as you can see, it's a very large move. He really stretches out his sword, which is nice. Gives Link extra range. I mean, his neutral air and his back air and that type of stuff. Those cover like one set of ranges, and his forward air covers a range that's longer than that, so that's nice for mixing up your opponent. And then as far as other things this does, it's basically like an aerial smash attack. It's kind of insane. If you hit it in the air and your opponent's at a higher percentage, hit it like over here, they're just going to fly off the stage. It's very good for killing. Unfortunately, it does take a good amount of time. It doesn't have that much ending lag, which is nice, as long as you finish the move. Or at least like don't hit the ground like halfway through it, because then there's more. But again, it's always reasonable as far as the landing lag on this move. I mean, it can probably, the first hit can probably be used to combo into certain things at certain percentages. I don't know that, but then again, its neutral air kind of does that, and it might be a little more safe. But you can also use this for shield pressure, but primarily this is going to be a move you want to be throwing out when you want to kill your opponent or edgeguard your opponent if you have your sword turned that way, or if you think your opponent's just going to occupy a space in the air, just trying to take that out before them. It's very good for that purpose, because this is just going to beat most moves because of how disjointed it is on Link's body. So if Pikachu would try to like run and back air, this move would just hit it, and it as a Pikachu player, it'd feel very disheartening because you like launches you, and then they have the whole stage, and that's a difficult position to fight back from. Onto his back air. So his back air is very good. It can be used as a combo tool. It's going to be safe on shield, just because of how fast you can react out of it. As you can see, there's very little landing lag on that, so you can kind of throw out shield or spot dodge very quickly afterward, which means it's probably going to be safe on shield. I mean, yeah, your opponent can like wait out the spot dodge, but at that point nothing's confirmed. It's very good for it's going to have different kill confirms as you get to higher percentages just with that first hit. It's kind of harder to hit on a shorter character, but you can still do it. Hold on. You can do something like that into up smash, and that'll work at higher percentages to kill your opponent, which is really nice because Link already has like very good standard killing options in his forward air and stuff. So being able to link like a few of his aerials, and not just one but several, into bigger conversions will really leave your opponent feeling like helpless basically, because there's just a lot of ways he can take your stock. This move is very good. It's very fast. If people want to be jumping in the air, it's a good move to throw out because it lingers, and you can get a combo after it. So overall, the move is very good, and like its combo potential and its kill potential, those are all there. So onto his next thing, which is his down air. So his down air and his up air, they kind of are fighting to see which of his aerials are the worst. His back air, his forward air, and his neutral air are all better than his up air and his down air. I think down air is probably a little better than his up air personally. You can use down air to spike people when they're off the stage, like if they're over here. You hit it with the right part of that move, that'll spike and kill them. So that's useful for edge guarding. Also, this is a tool you can use to land sometimes, although it is risky. The Pikachu player is trying to do something down there. That sword's kind of long enough that it'll beat a lot of Pikachu's moves or less ranged characters' moves. And I mean, they can move out of the way and punish it for sure, but I think we've all seen in games that's not exactly what happens. People can't perfectly react to this, or people don't have the read on this, and so you kind of get a free hit, and that can really turn the tides of a game. So it does kill at higher percentages, so that's another reason to throw it out. So overall, this move's alright. I think it has its uses, which is nice, but it's not as good as his back air, his neutral air, or even his forward air. So overall, Link's aerials, his up air is situational, but it's alright. It'll do a purpose. Same with the down air, but his back air, his neutral air, and his forward air to a certain extent are kind of like a class above those type of moves, and they really push his aerial moveset like over the top. His Link's aerial moveset's very good, and he'll be able to do a lot of things with it. Alright, now onto his jab, his grab, and his dash attack. So his jab is a pretty standard like 3-hit jab. What's nice is it has a lot of range, so this can potentially be safe on shield if you want to just throw it out and you're at a good space. If you're reading a spot dodge and they don't do it and it just ends up hitting their shield, you're not going to lose anything for it unless they parry it or something like that. But you'll probably get away with it. So that's very useful that it's like that. Other than that, it doesn't really lead to any conversions other than a knockdown situation like that, where you could try to tech chase or if they don't tech, get a larger punish out of it. So that's very nice as well. It is pretty quick. So overall, this jab, it doesn't really lead to too many follow-ups unless you get a knockdown. But those knockdown situations can be a big deal. And with how quick it is and how much range it has, this jab is probably overall a pretty good tool to use in general in the neutral game, fighting for space, reading different options. So overall, pretty good. Onto his grab. So Link has like several grabs that can lead into combos, which is nice. His up throw can lead into can lead into an up air at certain percentages, I know. I think at lower percentages, not that. At lower percentages, you can, no, not quite. So never mind with that. But you can get some combos off of this up throw, which is okay. Primarily his combo throw, I believe, is his down throw. Yeah, so that's the one. You can, at lower percentages, you can do something like that. It can really frustrate your opponent. At higher percentages, I think it'll still combo for a little bit, even though I don't think it's like the longest lasting combo. His back air doesn't really lead into anything, and his forward air doesn't really lead into anything. So overall, his up throw and his down throw are more of his combo throws, and then his forward air and his back air are like purely for positioning. If you want your opponent off stage or at a certain part of the stage to kind of like constrict their space and like constrict the life out of them, then you can go for one of these. But other than that, it doesn't seem to have too big of a usage for either his forward throw or his back throw. His dash attack. So his dash attack is, as you can see, it's slow. Like it'll take time. It'll lag after you've done it. So opponents can kind of whiff punish this pretty badly. But it kills. It's a good conversion if you hit it. So I mean, there's give and take to this move. Overall, I think it's okay. It's definitely punishable on shield, and but that doesn't mean it's bad. Like most dash attacks aren't safe on shield, and it's a strong move to hit. I'd like it to be a little slower, not a little slower, a little faster, just so you can throw it out and try to get away better. But an opponent with good reaction time and good space and like area will be able to punish this. Like right there, the Pikachu player would be able to punish that if they act properly. Okay, on to Lynx tilts. So his up tilt is very good. As you can see, it's very fast. It covers a large arc above him. This means that it's going to be very good for juggling, and it's going to be very hard for your opponent to get out, just because you can do things like dash and then do it again, them back in the air, and they'll probably end up going to ledge, or they'll find a way down regardless, but it's still a very fast option. I believe it'll kill at higher percentages too, which is nice. So it's a very good anti-air. It's a very good juggling tool. It's just very good. I doubt it's safe on shield just because not a lot of this would be hitting the shield, which means less shield stun. But you can do it in like space that's not far away from Pikachu and still get away with it, just because you can do your like getaway options like right after it because it's very fast. But if the Pikachu has the foresight to like run up and shield or something like that, they will get a punish off of it. But overall, this move is very good, has a lot of uses, and onto his next tilt, which is his forward tilt. So his forward tilt is very strong, but as you can see, it's also pretty laggy. Like, this will probably kill right here. Not quite. But obviously that's very fast, but like the big thing is that it's laggy. So if you throw this out here, like the Pikachu, or maybe right here, Pikachu will be able to punish that probably, or at least get in a position to try to punish a future option, like get into a better position because you've thrown out this move. It should be safe on shield as long as it's spaced pretty well, but I'm more concerned about this not hitting any shield or anything, just whiffing, and then an opponent will be able to either shoot a projectile, which would be the safest thing, and that'll be like guaranteed for them, or they can go in for a larger punish. So they have a lot of options to punish that move if it misses outright. If it does hit a shield, you're probably a little safer as long as you've spaced it well. But this forward tilt, I mean, it has its uses for reading a spot dodge, something like that. That would be pretty good because it is very strong. But overall, it's a risky move to use, but one that you're probably going to end up using as a Link player anyway. Onto his down tilt. So his down tilt might be his best tilt, but I still think his up tilt is amazing. His down tilt leads into combos. I'm not sure if that was true right there, but I know in general this move is a combo move, just because of the angle it sends the player at. So that's really nice. This is a really good tool to have. As you can see, it's got tons of range and not a lot of ending lag. So you can basically throw this move out for free, unless if your opponent has a like very hard read that you're gonna do this, just because it'll be very safe on shield with the range it has, and you'll probably be able to get away if you just miss outright, unless your opponent is like in the air as you're doing this, and you've completely read what like the set of their options were. I mean, which happens, and it's unfortunate. But overall, this move is very good. It has a very good like payoff for how good it is. Like, it's very safe, and you still get like a massive benefit from hitting it. So that's pretty awesome. And those are Lynx tilts. I think all of them have their uses, and I think 2 of them are really good. 2 Lynx smash attacks. So when you smash attack when you're at 0, at least for his forward smash, it actually sends out this light beam, which is pretty cool. It's like a throwback to the old Zelda games and the newest one, where if you're at 0 damage, you can whenever you swing the Master Sword, it sends out a beam of energy. This isn't that useful in this game. I mean, it's like kind of useful just because a lot of times players will forget about it, but overall, it's probably not something you're going to be using too much, even though it's not like bad. It does a good amount of damage, but you'll probably not be at 0% very often. So I just want to cover that very quickly. Onto his other smash attacks. His up smash is it's very quick, and it's actually really strong. So this move's really good. As an anti-air, it'll cover a lot of space. It does move in that like arcing fashion where it can catch a lot of options. If your opponent's trying to land on you, you throw this out, it's really demoralizing because it has such a high probability to hit when they're in this like sort of space. As you can see, the move is just massive, and it's very strong. So overall, this move it's very fast on startup, and it doesn't have a lot of ending lag. So I mean, it's got a good amount of ending lag, but it's like manageable. It's not terrible. So overall, this move is just really, really good. It'll be good out of shield, definitely. And this is like, you also combo into this with a lot of things. So it's really good that it has nice kill power. Like, blew off the stage at that percentage. So as a Link player, you'll probably get a good amount of kills with this move, just because it's not that unsafe to throw out. And your opponent can definitely air dodge or something right into this move, and you'll also be using it for like out of certain combos and stuff. So overall, this move is very good, and on to his next smash attack, which is his forward smash. So as I said earlier, this does launch that beam out at lower percentages. It can catch your opponent off guard. But this move is also just very strong. So that did like 30% damage for just one smash attack, because it's one of those comboing smash attacks where like the first hit hits and then the second one is supposed to hit right afterward. So that's really strong if you have a hard read on what your opponent's gonna do. Or it's useful for ledge trapping, because in ledge trapping situations your opponent only has like a small number of options. So this is like a decent read to throw out, and it's gonna kill characters very early. Like this would definitely kill Pikachu, I think. Yeah, Pikachu flew off. I mean, obviously there was no DI, but I don't think any DI was going to save the Pikachu there. That was only at 81%. Unfortunately, if you block this move, it does do a lot of shield damage. So if the opponent's shield is low and they try to block this move, you might get a shield break out of it, which is really nice. But if your opponent has a nice and healthy shield, they'll be able to just block this move and get a punish afterward. And if you whiff it, this is like a laggy move. So if it's a complete whiff, doesn't hit shield, doesn't hit anything, the Pikachu player can get a large punish off of that actually. Just because of how laggy it is. They can kind of like go for whatever they want at that point. So overall the move's very good because of its kill power, and it kind of, the way it moves forward is useful as well, just because your opponent won't be expecting it. But it's not a safe move to throw out. You want to be using this move in situations where you really think you have a read on your opponent, or at the ledge as a ledge trapping option, just because it'll kill very early if it lands, and your opponent doesn't have that many options on the ledge. And Lynx ledge trapping regardless is very good because of certain options he has. So it can a lot of times lead your opponent to do an option that can be covered with that, with his bombs and his boomerangs and wherever you want to place these things, or his up B, which just cover a lot of options. So you can really condition your opponent to get hit by this move, but that's probably where you want to be using it most, not just randomly throwing it out there, because it's pretty laggy. Onto his down smash. So his down smash, it's quick on startup, but it does take a decent amount of time to finish up. I mean, for the most part, he's still doing his move, so it's not like the ending lag is that bad. It's just that the move takes a while, so it's on shield, you'd probably be fine as long as you spaced it at that distance. I'm almost positive you'd be fine at that point. But if your opponent's in the air and you throw this out just randomly, your opponent should be able to get a punish off of it if you guys are in like this sort of relation. But other than that, you can probably throw this out to read roll behind and get away with it a good amount of the times. For ledge trapping, this will cover multiple options, which is very good. So yeah, overall his down smash is very good. His up smash I think is better, and his forward smash is really strong, but of course situational. On to Lynx's special attacks. So his up B on the stage is actually very useful. I mean, it's useful in a lot of situations, but like on the ledge, as a ledge trapping tool, it's pretty decent. But the biggest use for it is on stage with your shield up. Your opponent tries to do something unsafe on shield, you can throw out this up B, and it's just a move that's really good at punishing like shield pressure options. And it'll kill very early, as you just saw. So this is something that when your opponent's at kill percentage, you can throw out, and you can get a good kill for it, and practically for free, just because all you did was held shield and press up B. But overall, like it's very good at hitting those things, and it'll kill very early. And even if it doesn't, it's 18% damage or 17.8 or whatever that was. So overall, this move is very good for that purpose. I mean, you're not going to want to be running around and throwing this out in neutral, just because that won't do you much good. Because it does have a lot of lag at the end of it, which is unfortunate. The startup is very quick though, so very good out of shield option. Onto his neutral air. His neutral area is his arrow. His arrow isn't that great, I don't think. You can do this thing where you shoot 2 arrows, which is pretty nice. If you shoot the first one, then you come pick it up. But that's not going to happen very much while you're playing Link. I mean, you might be able to set it up really quickly and then kind of do something like that, but probably not something you'll use a lot. Even though it is pretty nice, it does a lot more damage that way. But overall, this move, I mean, it's like okay, it's like decently, it's like usable. It's not that terribly laggy. But then again, it's not like that terribly unlaggy. Like, you can definitely get punished for using this move, but it's also a nice thing to have. Just throw it out, get some quick amount of damage. Unfortunately, you're not really going to get a large punish out of it. It is good off stage against characters with poor recoveries. If you hit them somewhere in that relationship with your arrows, they'll just kind of fly off and they'll die because their recoveries are poor. But against characters with better recoveries, it won't be that useful. And it really doesn't have much purpose in the combo game. So it's purely just like nickel and dime damage, maybe a little like fight for space type of thing, try to get them out of an area, and then sometimes for edge guarding. So overall it's okay. I don't think it's a great projectile. But onto his boomerang. So his boomerang, I think, is a good amount better than his arrows. His boomerang is like safe on shield, more or less, if you hit it while you're like kind of close. I mean, you're not really going to want to be going up and throwing a boomerang right in someone's face. You could have definitely chosen a better option than that. But obviously, if you have a read that they're going to be going away and they happen to go towards you instead, it's not going to be the end of the world just because that move is going to be like basically safe on shield, if not just entirely safe on shield. Besides like certain specific characters. So this move's pretty good for that purpose if it hits a shield. If it doesn't, it can combo into things, as you can see. It puts them in a relationship that's like, puts them in a poor position. It'll probably combo, but unfortunately, if you want it to combo, it like reduces its range. You can't combo from this sort of distance, unless if you're like, I was gonna make some sort of joke there, but there's just no way. You can't close that type of distance and be able to get a combo off of it. But it's pretty good for kicking people out of areas or stuffing approach options when an opponent is trying to come to you. And for that reason, it's very good. It will combo when you're closer. So overall, this move has a lot of uses, and it's a very good move. Okay, onto his down B. So his down B is kind of like the star of the show for this new Link because it's a remote control bomb. You can do some like combos with it. I'm not sure exactly how you do it, but it involves like dropping the bomb and then neutral airing. And when you neutral air it, you pick the bomb back up, and it basically puts your opponent where you can get like, it's not a 0 to death combo, just a very, very high percentage combo by dropping that, and they won't be able to do anything really besides sit there and take a whole bunch of damage. So that's pretty useful, but it's also useful to just like leave it on the ground over here, and then like I can throw my opponent over, and then they have to worry about the bomb, and I might just explode it, and then they're really in trouble because they're off stage and they're in a position they don't want to be, and so that's really useful for Link, just taking up a lot of space. Also, against taller characters, it won't be as effective against Pikachu, or maybe it might be, but just throwing it at your opponent at different times and getting some sort of conversion out of it. You can use it to combo. You can use it to make certain options more safe if you like drop that on a shield and then come in with a shield pressure tool. So overall, it's got a lot of usage for that. Has a lot of usage off stage where you just throw it off and you press it, and if characters with poor recoveries will have a tough time dealing with that because they'll just be exploded right off the stage. And it's also useful for Link's own recovery, just because if you're off stage you can, I'm sorry, I just threw that forward, but I'm sure you guys have seen it and you guys get the premise. You can just kind of explode yourself, and there's a way to do it where it launches you back towards the stage. I mean, sometimes your opponents can react to that and come and hit you and attack you anyway, but at least you have that option to make it back, and if you do it properly, you'll probably tech the stage, and at that point, you might just get back safely, which is pretty nice. It adds another recovery mix-up to Lynx arsenal, and this move is just like, you can also just throw it at people and explode it, which is like probably more of his intended purpose. Kind of, I guess it's remote control, so they did want you to use it for spacing. But overall, this move is useful for a lot of reasons. It's useful for comboing, it's useful for taking up space, having a whole territory to yourself on a stage up until your opponent is willing to deal with it. It's useful for edge guarding. So overall, this move is really good. I think a lot of Lynx specials are very good, or at least have their usages. I think his arrow is probably the least among them, but even that is more useful than many moves in this game. Because you can throw it out, and you can space with it, and you do get damage off of it. Recovery, his edge guarding, and like his propensity to get comboed, like how easily does it get comboed. His recovery, I mean, he'd actually benefit from a tether in this game, because tethers are pretty decent in this game. But his recovery, it's definitely exploitable. It's not the best in the game, but you can play a match and not get edge guarded with this character. It's not like atrociously bad, because you do have these bombs which can help you, and this up B catches a lot of people who are actually trying to edge guard you, because the range of the sword is very far, and as you can see, it kind of goes above Link. So when they're trying to go and hit you, a lot of times this up B will hit them, and then they're actually in a poor position. So it's pretty nice that that up B does that. Nonetheless, it's still like punishable. Like Pikachu should be able to edge guard Link very effectively. Even when Link uses the bombs, like that's something you can react to a lot of the time. So overall, Link's recovery leaves something to be desired, but it's not terrible, because he does have the bomb, which helps him, and he does have the up B, which will catch a lot of people trying to edge guard him, and can turn down a situation for the Link player's favor. As far as edge guarding, his edge guarding is going to be pretty decent, because he has this back air, which is pretty good for it. You can throw out a good amount of those off stage. You have this forward air, which you can throw less off stage, but if one of these hits, it'll probably just kill outright, unless your opponent's actually like 0% ran off stage for some reason. So that's very good for that reason. And then his safest tool against characters with bad recoveries is just his neutral air. You can run off a neutral air like Ganondorf or Captain Falcon pretty easily. They're just gonna die. So that's pretty good for that. His down air obviously has its uses, because it's his spiking move. So if you have a read that your opponent's going to occupy this area or something like that, you can just kind of down air them, and that'll be pretty cool. That looks pretty sick, but it's less likely than the other things. And then other edge guarding, his arrow for characters with poor recovery. If your opponent wants to occupy the space that arrow will go down, you should be able to just hit them, and they might die if they have a poor recovery. Someone like Pikachu will probably survive unless they're at a higher percentage, and this just kills outright. And yeah, onto his next edge guarding tool. He has this bomb which you can throw out, and if characters want to be recovering in that sort of space, you can throw it right out there and explode it. And if that hits, they'll probably die unless they have a very good recovery like Pikachu's. So that's pretty good. Overall, his edge guarding, I think, is pretty good, but it'd be a lot better if his recovery was better, because he can't spend too much time off stage, because he'll just end up dead from one of his opponent's defensive options hitting him or something like that. But other than that, he can probably edge guard a lot of characters in this game, at least ones with the poor recoveries like Ganondorf or something like that. As far as how easily Link gets comboed, so as I mentioned earlier, Link is heavy, and he also has a pretty decently large body, let's say. So he can get thrown in the air and he can get comboed. He's kind of easy to hit because of his large size, and like Obviously, the taller characters have a distinctive disadvantage against the shorter characters, just because they get hit with practically every move, while the shorter characters just kind of are like hanging out right below those moves. So overall, Link can get comboed pretty hard. He is gonna live for decently long unless if you edge guard him now, which is nice because he is so heavy. So he can easily be living like 150s, 160s, 170s with this character as long as you're not getting edge guarded. So overall, his survivability, even though it is like he is easy to combo, it's not terrible. It's not terrible just because you'll live for a long time, even when you are getting comboed the way you are. One thing I forgot to mention, which kind of helps his longevity, is he does have the shield, which means that projectiles will just like as long as Link's not moving or if he's in like a slow walk rather than a run, you can just close space on your opponent who's trying to use projectiles, and the projectiles will just bounce off the shield. I mean, not really bounce off, but they just won't do anything to Link, which is really good. That means in neutral he's a little better, and he gets less punished by projectiles, which is really nice for him. So overall, his survivability is decent, although he does get comboed pretty hard. Alright guys, I wanted to share with you the plans for this channel going forward. So basically you're going to see more of these videos where I just kind of look at a character's moveset and what do I think players of that character should be doing in a match against me. And then later on I'll see if I was right by playing like online matches, and once I get a good sample size of that, I'll see, hey, maybe this is what the characters want to do, or maybe I was right all along. So kind of as a consequence of that, you will be seeing some highlights from my stream on here, just because that's where I'm going to get the information from when I make these character assessments later on. So speaking of my stream, come follow me at LiterallyDonate, and yeah, thanks for watching.